A man in his late 60s sits quietly at his kitchen table, staring into his mug. For years, he's accepted the idea that his strongest days are behind him. Then, on a whim, he mixes together two everyday ingredients he's had in his cupboard for years. 20 minutes later, he's pacing the living room with a strange new energy, feeling lighter on his feet, more alert, and with a confidence he thought had vanished for good. No prescriptions, no risky procedures, just a natural combination that works in harmony with his own biology. I'm Dr. Sophia Jain, a physician specializing in men's health and vitality. For over 20 years, I've worked with thousands of men from every walk of life: teachers, farmers, veterans, business owners, men who thought they'd have to just learn to live with the slow loss of strength, stamina, and desire. What I'm about to share with you is something I've seen reverse years of decline without a single prescription drug. Most men have been told that aging itself is the problem, that lower drive, reduced performance, and slower recovery are simply part of getting older. But the truth I've seen again and again is that age is often not the main culprit. More often, the issues come down to restricted blood flow, disrupted hormone balance, and a lack of certain nutrients the body once produced easily. The fix? It isn't hidden in a laboratory or locked behind a pharmacy counter. It's sitting in plain sight, in your pantry, on your spice rack, in the grocery aisle you've walked past for years. Today, I'm going to walk you through 5 specific vinegar-based combinations that can help open blood vessels, protect testosterone, and renew energy levels, some working in as little as 20 minutes. And stay with me because toward the end, I'll also reveal what I call the ultimate power blend, a recipe that takes the most effective elements from all 5 formulas and combines them into one potent drink that's helped men well into their 70s and 80s feel like they've rolled back the clock. We'll start with something so simple, so humble, that most people underestimate its power. A blend that doesn't just improve circulation, but also guards your male hormones from the slow, silent drain that robs so many men of their vitality. Formula 1, apple cider vinegar plus raw honey. Over the years, one thing I've learned is that nature rarely hides her best work in complicated formulas. Many of the most reliable health boosters are simple, familiar, and right under our noses. Take apple cider vinegar, for example. I'm not talking about flavored dressings or diluted store-bought blends, but real, organic apple cider vinegar with the mother, cloudy strands that hold live enzymes and probiotics. I once had a patient named Harold, 74, who had been a high school basketball coach for decades. His voice was still strong, but his body was slowing down. He felt drained most mornings, his focus was fuzzy, and intimacy with his wife had become something they both avoided because it left him feeling inadequate. When I suggested apple cider vinegar paired with raw, unfiltered honey, Harold chuckled. He thought it sounded like something his grandmother might give him for a sore throat. But within days, he called me with an excitement in his tone I hadn't heard in months. "Doc, something's different. I feel more awake and let's just say my wife noticed." What was going on inside Harold's body? The acetic acid in apple cider vinegar acts a bit like a master locksmith for the circulatory system. As we age, our blood vessels can become stiff and narrow, like metal pipes corroded on the inside, restricting the flow of oxygen-rich blood. Apple cider vinegar helps dissolve some of that buildup and reduce the inflammation that causes those pipes to harden. Now here's where the honey comes in. Raw honey, not pasteurized or processed, contains living enzymes and plant compounds, one of which is called kristin. This natural flavonoid helps block an enzyme called aromatase. Aromatase is notorious for turning precious testosterone into estrogen over time, leaving men feeling weaker, less motivated, and less interested in intimacy. By guarding testosterone while also improving blood flow, this pairing tackles two of the most common age-related male health challenges at the same time. The method is simple. Mix 2 tablespoons of organic apple cider vinegar with 1 teaspoon of raw, unfiltered honey in 8 ounces of warm water. Stir until the honey dissolves and drink it about 30 minutes before you want your best energy and focus. Warm water speeds up the action of honey's enzymes and helps the vinegar absorb more quickly. Harold noticed that his first improvements weren't only in the bedroom. He had more pep in the mornings, sharper concentration when reading, and a lighter mood overall. After a few weeks, he told me he felt as if he had taken off a backpack of bricks he didn't realize he'd been carrying. That's the beauty of a natural approach. It doesn't just target one area of health. It creates ripple effects throughout your whole system. Apple cider vinegar and raw honey won't shock your body or create short-lived bursts of energy that leave you crashing later. Instead, they support steady, reliable blood flow, healthier hormone balance, and a natural rise in energy over time. It's a small daily habit that can have an enormous impact on confidence, mood, and stamina. Formula 2: white vinegar plus fresh ginger. Not all vinegars get the same attention. Apple cider vinegar tends to steal the spotlight, but there's another variety that works like a quiet powerhouse: white vinegar. Most people think of it as something for cleaning windows or pickling vegetables, but the truth is, its concentrated acetic acid content can be a real game changer for blood vessel health. I had a patient named Gerald, a 68-year-old retired steel worker with hands like leather and a straightforward way of speaking. He sat across from me one afternoon and said, "Dr. Jain, I can still put in a day's work if I have to, but when it comes to feeling like a man, nothing's happening anymore." His doctor had told him to accept the changes of age, but Gerald wasn't ready to throw in the towel. White vinegar's strength lies in its ability to break down calcium deposits and hardened plaque along arterial walls. Imagine your blood vessels as flexible hoses. Over time, they can become stiff and lined with debris that slows blood flow. White vinegar works to gently dissolve some of that buildup, restoring flexibility and allowing a freer flow of blood. But the real transformation happens when you combine it with fresh ginger root. Not powdered ginger that's been sitting in your spice rack for years, but fresh, aromatic ginger that releases oils the moment it's sliced or grated. Ginger contains compounds called gingerols and shogaols, which help relax the smooth muscles and blood vessel walls and prompt your body to produce more nitric oxide, a molecule your body needs for healthy circulation and sustained performance. Here's how to prepare it. Grate about 1 teaspoon of fresh ginger root and combine it with 1 teaspoon of white vinegar in half a cup of warm water. Stir well, and drink about 20 minutes before you want results. That short window is enough for the vinegar to start clearing pathways and for the ginger to boost blood flow where it's needed most. When Gerald tried this, he came back after 4 days with a grin. "Doc, I don't know if this is magic or science, but something's working." He wasn't just talking about bedroom performance. His knees felt less stiff, his hands ached less, and he had more energy for working in his garage. That's because ginger is also a natural anti-inflammatory, meaning it can reduce discomfort in joints while improving circulation. This pairing is especially useful for men who feel like their bodies are slowing down in more ways than one, whether that's in stamina, mobility, or focus. Better circulation doesn't just help in one area, it supports the whole body, from brain function to muscle endurance. Formula 3. Balsamic vinegar plus pure pomegranate juice. If the first two formulas are about opening blood vessels, this one is about repairing them, fixing the damage that has quietly built up over years. The star here is balsamic vinegar, rich in polyphenols that protect and heal the thin inner lining of your blood vessels, called the endothelium. When that lining gets rough and damaged, blood flow slows and pressure builds, creating the perfect storm for reduced vitality. Several years ago, I met Leonard, a 70-year-old retired Navy officer with a firm handshake and a sharp mind. He still walked every morning and kept a balanced diet, but something had shifted in recent years. "Doc, I still want to be active, but my body seems to have forgotten how." Balsamic vinegar's polyphenols help smooth and strengthen the vessel lining so blood can flow freely again. But to truly rejuvenate those vessels, we pair it with pure pomegranate juice. Not the sugar-heavy blend sold in many grocery stores, but 100% unsweetened juice. Pomegranates contain rare antioxidants called punicalagins, which actively reduce inflammation and even help regenerate healthy vessel tissue. This isn't just about a quick boost, it's about long-term repair. When your vessels function well, they can handle increased demand without strain, meaning you can maintain stamina and energy for hours rather than minutes. The preparation is straightforward. Mix 2 tablespoons of high-quality balsamic vinegar with 4 ounces of pure pomegranate juice. Drink once in the morning on an empty stomach to maximize absorption, and once about an hour before you want your best performance. When Leonard committed to this routine, he came back 2 weeks later looking noticeably more energized. His morning walks were easier, his breathing was smoother, and his legs didn't tire as quickly. That's because better vessel health improves circulation not just in one area, but throughout your body. This combination is one I recommend for men looking for not just short-term results, but also a gradual transformation that keeps delivering over the months and years. Healthy vessels are the foundation for stamina, clarity, and consistent performance well into later life.
A few years ago, I attended a medical symposium in Kyoto, Japan. During a lunch break, I spoke with a researcher named Dr. Kenji Sato, who had spent decades studying rural Japanese communities. He told me about villages where men in their late 70s and 80s were still active, sharp-minded, and enjoyed the kind of vitality most men in the West lose decades earlier. One of his observations stood out. These men regularly consumed a small daily drink made with rice vinegar and watermelon-based ingredients. Rice vinegar is different from other vinegars. It's milder in flavor, slightly alkaline, and contains amino acids that help balance your body's pH. When your internal environment is balanced, your body absorbs and uses nutrients more efficiently. This means any performance-boosting nutrients you consume afterward can be put to work faster and more effectively. The second half of this formula, watermelon extract, contains high levels of an amino acid called citrulline. Once inside your body, citrulline is converted into arginine, the direct building block for nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is essential for relaxing and dilating blood vessels, allowing more blood to flow exactly where it's needed. The advantage of citrulline is that it bypasses much of the digestive breakdown that destroys arginine from supplements, delivering results more reliably. Here's the preparation. Mix 1 teaspoon of rice vinegar with 2 ounces of pure watermelon extract in a small glass of water at room temperature. Drink it about 45 minutes before you want peak circulation. This timing allows the conversion from citrulline to arginine to reach its maximum. One of my patients, Robert, a 66-year-old former marathon runner, summed up the experience perfectly. "It's like my body remembered how to perform at full speed and kept going for hours." This formula doesn't just help in the moment, it often improves energy for the rest of the day, aiding recovery after activity and even boosting endurance for daily tasks like walking, gardening, or climbing stairs. The best part? It's not a stimulant, so there's no jittery rush or sudden crash, just steady, confident energy that feels natural because it is. You're simply giving your body the exact raw materials it needs to work the way it's designed to, even decades later. Formula 5. Red wine vinegar plus dark chocolate. The last of the 5 formulas is a little different. It's not just about physical readiness. It's about restoring the emotional connection, confidence, and ease that can fade when performance issues creep in. I call it the mind and body blend, and it combines red wine vinegar with high-quality dark chocolate. Red wine vinegar contains a compound called resveratrol, which has been shown to improve blood vessel flexibility, reduce inflammation, and support heart health. By enhancing circulation, it primes the body for better performance. Then there's dark chocolate, at least 70% cacao, with minimal sugar. It contains flavonoids that also boost nitric oxide production, improving blood flow. But dark chocolate has another unique benefit. It contains compounds like phenylethylamine and anandamide, sometimes called the bliss molecule, which can lift your mood, reduce stress, and create a sense of relaxed confidence. That mental shift matters more than many men realize. Stress and anxiety are some of the fastest ways to sabotage performance, even when the body is physically capable. By calming the mind and boosting positive feelings, this combination helps you be present and engaged, not distracted or tense. The ritual is simple. Dissolve 1 teaspoon of red wine vinegar in 2 ounces of warm water. Drink it, and then immediately enjoy 1 ounce of good quality dark chocolate, 3 or 4 small squares. The warmth of the water speeds vinegar absorption, while the chocolate begins working on both circulation and mood within minutes. One of my patients, Pierre, a 69-year-old retired pastry chef, said that after trying it, he not only felt physically ready, but emotionally connected to his wife in a way he hadn't in years. They turned it into a shared evening ritual, and the spark in their relationship returned almost naturally. For men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond, that emotional and mental readiness can be just as important as physical stamina. This pairing addresses both sides of the equation, helping you show up fully, body and mind, for the moments that matter most.
The ultimate power blend. After years of testing these formulas with patients, I began experimenting with combining elements from all 5. The goal was to create a single blend that could deliver fast results while also supporting long-term vascular health and overall vitality. What I discovered was remarkable and surprisingly simple. The winning combination starts with apple cider vinegar because it sets the stage by regulating blood sugar and balancing the body's internal environment. Next, I add a small amount of balsamic vinegar for its polyphenols, which keep blood vessels healthy and responsive. Then comes pomegranate juice. 1 ounce is enough to trigger nitric oxide release and antioxidant protection. To supercharge circulation, I include rice vinegar and watermelon extract, delivering that citrulline to arginine conversion for strong, sustained blood flow. Finally, I finish with a single square of dark chocolate for both the flavonoids and the mood-enhancing compounds that help you feel confident and connected. Here's how to make it. In a small glass, combine 1 teaspoon apple cider vinegar, half a teaspoon balsamic vinegar, and 1 teaspoon rice vinegar. Add 1 ounce of pomegranate juice and 2 ounces of watermelon extract. Top with 3 ounces of room temperature water, stir, and drink it slowly. Afterward, enjoy 1 square of high-quality dark chocolate. The taste is surprisingly pleasant. Tangy from the vinegars, sweet from the pomegranate and watermelon, with the chocolate as a satisfying finish. And the effects? Most men report a noticeable boost in readiness and stamina within an hour, along with a lingering sense of steady energy for the rest of the evening. One of my long-term patients, Howard, a 72-year-old former architect, uses this blend 3 times a week. He told me, "It's not just that I can perform when I want to, it's that I feel like myself again. I have energy in the mornings, I enjoy being active, and my wife and I are closer than we've been in decades." For most men, I recommend starting with 1 formula at a time so you can see how your body responds. If you find one that works especially well, make it your go-to for a few weeks before trying the next. This also allows you to notice improvements in both short-term performance and long-term stamina. If you choose to use the Ultimate Power Blend, keep it to 2 or 3 times per week. That's enough to get the benefits without overwhelming your system. On non-blend days, stick with one of the simpler pairings to keep your body responsive. The key to success isn't doing these once and hoping for a miracle. It's about consistency. Each of these combinations supports your body's natural systems, and over time, those systems respond by becoming stronger, more efficient, and more reliable. Gentlemen, the decline in performance and stamina after 60 is not inevitable. Your body is capable of extraordinary recovery if you give it the right support. These vinegar-based formulas aren't magic potions. They work because they supply your body with exactly what it needs to restore circulation, balance, and energy. I've seen men in their late 70s regain not just physical performance, but the spark in their relationships, the drive to pursue hobbies, and the confidence to say yes to opportunities they'd stopped considering. And it all started with small, simple habits. A teaspoon of this, an ounce of that, repeated consistently. So start today. Choose one formula, try it, and pay attention to how you feel. Then, build from there. With a little patience and the right tools, you can rewrite the story of aging and reclaim the energy, stamina, and vitality that you thought were gone for good.